You're listening to Playing the Next Level, WCGA's official podcast. Hi everyone, welcome to Playing the Next Level, WCGA's official podcast. And today I have with me Mariana Missakian.
Let's say it together. Mariana Missakian.
Missakian.
Hey, Anum.
Lovely to see you.
You
Finally.
too. Finally, we're doing this.
So excited. So Mariana is a TEDx speaker, which we're going to have a screening for soon.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to do that.
Supposed to have that screening. Is an author, a best-selling author, I must say, who won the best-selling book at which place was it?
Let's say it together. Also, Kino Kunua in Dubai Mall.
In Dubai Mall. I think you've all guessed what the name of the shop is. And also...
And on Amazon. I was also the best-selling on Amazon as well. Yeah, when I launched the book.
Yeah. That's amazing. So I'm so happy that you're here today. I know that you're doing a PhD now as well.
Yeah.
On top of everything else that you're doing.
I always say I'm the full package, you know. Brain, beauty, and booty.
We have your Armenian heritage to thank for that, my love.
Yeah, Armenian jeans rock.
Amazing. So you've been now, okay, I've known you since we were on a leadership team together for Elevate. Mm-hmm. And then you left to do your PhD. And I was very, very sad about that because I thought I'd get to see you very often, at least once a month. Before that, you had a really successful career.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a child.
Yes.
Well, love.
Why did your voice go down?
And then I believe your life really, truly started.
Yeah.
And you're dedicating your time now, and your PhD is all around how workplaces can be more inclusive for mothers.
Yes, how we can create mother-inclusive workplaces. That's what I'm calling.
How did we get here?
Oh my God, how long do we have?
Quickly.
Very quickly. Okay, yes, there you go. So yes, before becoming a mom, I was a corporate superstar, you know. Before when everybody would tell me who you are, I would tell them, what is this? Google me, you know, because if you put my name, you will see all my accomplishments in the corporate world. And then actually I thought, and this happened on 15 years before I started working. So 15 years before I started working, I would go to an interview as a 20-year-old something. And the first question they would ask me, because I was married then, I got married young. So as a married woman being interviewed, the first question they would ask me is that, are you planning to have a child? When are you planning to have children? So at 20 something, you know, me being a responsible adult, I took the decision that I will only have a child and become a mom when I have become a corporate superstar, where my job was so safe that I could actually go on a maternity leave for a year or maybe two, and my job would be safe, you know, because I have done so much with the corporate world, and they would give me my maternity leave. So I did that, you know, the plan was I worked, I got a better job, a bigger job. And then I say I got a better house, a bigger house, you know, because I was rocking it. I was doing it. And 15 years later, I'm like, okay, the plan is working so far. Let's go and have a baby. And so I thought, you know, like insert horror music. So when I had my child, and I was 33 at the time, really all the way up the corporate ladder, you know, and I really felt safe. But then I was called in to the HR room, and very bluntly I was told, okay, Mariana, today is the day where you have to choose between your job or your family. And I really don't know. So two seconds later, obviously I was out, you know, out of the room, out of the office, out of the company, and I went home. But thinking about it now, I always say, how is it that the HR at the time felt that he was in a position to ask me to choose between my family and my job? So the mature me today, you know. So after I left that job, I really hit the wall, because after being on the hamster wheel for 15 years and working 9 to 9 every day, day in and day out, year in and year out, when you are home with a child, I I didn't know who I was anymore, because I couldn't put on my suits. I couldn't put on my stilettos. I wouldn't tell people what to do. I wasn't boss lady anymore. And I didn't know how to be a full-time mom, you know. And I went through a full official depression because, and I do have the society to thank for my full-on depression, because every time I would leave the house, they would ask me, "Oh, Mariana, what do you do? What do you do,
exactly.
Mariana?" And the what do you do would be, "Well, I'm a mom." But I'm like, and they would be like, "And?" It's like, is that all? Like, you don't have an ambition anymore? You don't want to have a career anymore? What happened to you? You used to be a superstar. And the more they would ask me that question, the more I would go into depression and a hole. I wouldn't leave my house for days. And that went on for years, Anum. I'm laughing about it now, you know, because I did write a book about it, and I did my TEDx talk on it. But when I became a mom, I lost my identity completely, because I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know who I was supposed to be, and how was I supposed to be this mom. So why I'm doing my doctoral, to go back to that, it's because women should never, ever, women should never, ever be asked to choose between their job and their family. So when I say my doctoral thesis is about researching on how to create mother-inclusive workplaces, this is beyond maternity leave. You know, a lot of companies claim to be mother-friendly because they offer maternity leaves. A lot more companies claim to be mother-friendly because they offer flexible hours. But being mother-inclusive workplaces goes beyond maternity leaves and goes beyond flexible working hours. I am not here to fix a broken system by offering patches. My whole doctoral research is about abolishing the system and creating a new system from the ground up, because for the same question that you asked me, I am a mother now, but I was a working woman for 15 years. So companies, when they are hiring women, they need to keep in mind that, and this is statistics, 70 to 80% of all working women will become mothers. So the question is not companies waking up suddenly and realizing, oh my God, you know, she's a mother. No, the question is, companies need to be built, and they have to be built on a system, as they know, they are aware that when they are recruiting women, single, married, and all that, these women will eventually become mothers. So how they can support them throughout their journey from singlehood to wifehood, you know, to familyhood to motherhood. And it won't be that we are patching it off. No. We have to build a new system.
Wow.
And that's what I'm doing.
That is so inspiring, Mariana. Honestly, I do think that the system is broken, and being a single woman working in the corporate industry, I've been in situations where I've been interviewed before throughout are you single? That's been a factor. Because if I'm married, my husband might get a job in another country, and I might have to uproot my career and then leave and follow him.
Yes.
Or I might get pregnant. Or am I planning to have children? And I remember when I was working for HSBC, when I left HSBC, I worked with them for almost 6 years. The one thing that I was most excited about was the fact that I was going to get a 2-year maternity leave, because I'd worked 6 years, and I had no plans to having a child at that point. But I was really excited that I was going to get 2 years for maternity leave. And then when I lost that, it really hurt me, because I was like, could have stayed, and I would have had a longer maternity leave. No plan on having a child, but I'm still trying to future-proof when I am going to have a child. And I genuinely think that, systems aren't made. The systems that we're in are not made to make it what you can have a creche in the office and you mother inclusive. I'm sure people have suggested that to you, like, we'll put little nursery there. But saying all of that and doing your research, can women have it all? Can they have a successful career and be mothers?
Well, first of all, we have to define what is all. And to define what is all, we need to go back to the root. Is that who told us that this is all, and who told us that we can have it all? Who was it?
Yeah.
And how did they define?
Sure, it was a man.
And so once we figured out, because I had to ask that question when I was writing my book, is like why I was going through this identity crisis, why I was trying to justify my motherhood, why was I trying so hard to go back and find a job as well, why I was trying to fill the mold, who told me about this mold, and why was I trying to break myself to fit in the mold. So it's very, very important to sit with ourselves in silence and figure out who actually was the one who told us about this all thing, and then actually ask ourselves, what is it that we want? How are we defining our all? And if we want to be a full-time mom, let's define that for us. What it means for us to be, for me, for my family, to be a full-time mom. If I want to be a working mom, again, let's define for me what means to be a working mom. I write about this in the book that mom is not a universal contract that binds all mothers together. Okay, so let's just agree on that. It's not a contract that we all have to sign with the same terms and conditions, that being a mom for me is the same as being a mom for you. Being a mom for me is completely different than being a mom for you or the next mom or the next mom, because it's all conditional on our situation, on our values, on our families, how much support we have, so on and so on. So let's go back and say, I choose to have this life, to combine this work, this career with this motherhood. This is the mother I want to choose to be, and this is the professional lady I want to choose to be. So if you define your all, you can have it all, but on your own terms, not on the terms of Instagram, not on the terms of the New York Times bestselling. That was another reason actually why I wrote my book, because when I was going through this depression of trying to answer the question, what do you do, but you're full-time mom, and I was crying, literally crying on the bathroom floor, refusing to leave my house, not to answer that question. There was not a single book I could find. There was not a single article I could find. There was not a single influencer or a blogger I could find that was talking about motherhood unfiltered. Everyone was applying some kind of a filter. And actually that made me doubt my own reality, because when I was skipping through Instagram, New York Times bestsellers, whatever you want to call them, I couldn't see myself. I couldn't identify with another mom that was like me. So I kept on judging myself and thinking I was the wrong one. I was the wrong one, because look, everyone is so happy.
With their Lululemons.
With their Lululemons and their yoga classes and their corporate Porsche. So that was one of the reasons, again, why I chose to publish my truth, the raw, unfiltered truth, because I wanted another mother to recognize herself in my stories, to know that she's not alone. And I always talk about this game, Marco Polo. You know, when they tell me why you wrote the book, I wrote the book for Marco Polo. You know, Marco Polo, you go, you stand and you say Marco and you wait for someone. So I told them, I am the one standing in the middle with my stories, calling Marco. And you call back and come and find me. If not, I will go and find you.
Wow. That is so inspiring, Mariana. Oh gosh. That's it. We're so conditioned and we always compare ourselves to another. That's one thing, right? We shouldn't compare ourselves because our realities are so much different. Everyone's reality is so different to each other's. You can't compare yourself to how she got it all together. How is she doing it? You don't know.
Or how she seems, or how she's putting on a face, or even he. We're not talking about she. You know. But it's like, if you are so comfortable with your own values, if you're so comfortable with what is it that you want from your own life, and what is it that you want to achieve on your own terms, and what suits your family, then that's it. You know, someone a few months ago asked me, how does it feel to be you? You know, why are you so confident in what you stand for as a mom? Because when they ask me now who you are, I just tell them I'm a mom. And you know, they expect me to elaborate on I'm a mom, but I have a hobby, but I have my business, but you know, I'm like, no, I'm a mom, full stop. That's it. And that full stop over there, for me, entre parenthèses, it has so much. But that's for me to know, and that's for me to accept. It's not for me to explain to you what that full stop means. So a woman was asking me, a lady was asking me, how does it feel to be you? That full stop. What does it mean, that full stop? I said, imagine that your feet are actually grounded in a block of cement. And come wind, come shine, come hurricane, you will not move, because society will always have an opinion. Why? Because they're comfortable in their blocks. They're comfortable in putting you in boxes. And if they can't find the box that they put you in, is that there's an edge, and they are the ones uncomfortable, not you. So whatever you are, whoever you are, just say full stop and be confident with that full stop, whatever it stands for you and to you.
It's not your discomfort to have, it's their discomfort.
Exactly. Their insecurity.
Exactly. So a lot of my friends, right, Mariana, one of my friends, we had a WCGA networking coffee morning, right? And she spoke about how when she was pregnant, like, she was the top, she's in sales. So she was like still hitting her targets, and her boss would say, look, Sam's pregnant and she's still like, she's number one and she's smashing it. And I turned around and looked at her, I said, did you work twice as hard just to make sure no one questioned your work while you were pregnant? And she looked at me and she went, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you could have, you were sick, you could have, she didn't have a good pregnancy. And I was like, you could have, she's like, no, I didn't want anyone to say anything about me just because I'm pregnant. And we have that sense of pride that we can do it all and we should do it all. But don't you think we should also be okay with not doing it all? Like, if you are a mom, you can't do it all the time, right? So I felt bad for her because I was like, you could have just chilled.
This is what I've been saying, and again, one of the reasons of my doctoral is that we are letting the companies get away, or we are letting the corporate world get away with their responsibility towards us. So when a mother or a pregnant woman or a woman, is putting on double the work, she is sick, she's not taking her sick leaves just to prove herself that she can do it. I see the system going back to the system that is broken. Why is it the company taking on the responsibility? We are creating a human being in our body.
Exactly.
We are creating tiny human in our body. This is not normal. We are doing it. It's a magical power that we have, and we shouldn't be working double as hard. One woman, one of the interviewees I interviewed for my research, she said, without mothers, the world will not go on. And yet, when we become mothers, we are punished for our gift. We are punished for our magic. So my thought is, my thinking is that we have the corporates are getting away by not doing enough, because women are doing double, triple, 4 times, 5 times what we're supposed to do. The time has come for women, mothers, for corporate to stop asking women and mothers to adapt. And the time has come for companies to start to attract, to companies to get their act straight.
So just adding to that, so I had someone say to me, I just had a baby, and, I was so grateful. They gave me this opportunity to, go back to work straight away. I got this job, even though they knew I had a newborn. And even though I was happy that she got the job that she got, at the same time, I was like, why are we talking like this?
Yeah.
We're also adding to the problem, because we're accepting exactly what you said. We're letting companies get away with it. We're accepting this. We're being grateful to people giving us opportunities because, we've just had a child, and it's just...
We are not a liability. We are not. Companies should put in their weight and start attracting mothers. I'm not going to quote research, but women and mothers, we are exceptional leaders. We are exceptional employees. Companies who are led by women, they outperform any competition by 30%, by 35%. Return on shareholders, profitability, productivity, efficiency. Companies perform better under women leadership. We're not going to go there. It's proven by science. But what what we are saying is that it's not our responsibility to prove ourselves again and again and again and again. I was a corporate superstar for 15 years, but the minute I became a mom, like your friend, we had to go back and prove that we could do the job we were doing for 15 years because we became a mom. It's not on us to prove ourselves. We have proven ourselves over and over again. It's on the company to step up.
So, people will say, for example, we get a comment like a colleague would say, oh, of course, she's got like 3 kids, like she's always busy. Like, of course, she's, not going to put in as much work as a man, for example. And obviously, do you think sometimes it's kind of their problem and not our problem, and we just have to ignore it and just believe in ourselves and not let that affect us?
A few weeks ago, I heard a tech female CEO very proudly say that when she started her company, she made sure that she has a staff of 50-50, 50 women and 50 men, and some of the women were mothers as well. 6 months down the line, the men came complaining to her, telling her that, the mothers are not putting in the same time as we are. They're not working overtime. They're not putting in, they're not working till midnight. So they have to go. And the CEO said, well, I can't make half of my staff unhappy, especially the ones who are putting on the extra hours. So she had to let go of the mothers.
She did?
She did. So I wrote an open letter to her. It's on my LinkedIn. You can check it out. And I said, this was such a rare opportunity for us to educate, for you to educate. First of all, it's what are we measuring the woman and the man? If it's about measuring how long we are staying in the office, is that the culture that we are creating? Or are we measuring on productivity, on efficiency, on loyalty, on commitment, on teamwork? There are so many variables that we can be measured on, both men and women. Second, this was a lost opportunity because she could have included fathers in the conversation as well, because I'm sure fathers want to go home early and spend time with their children as well. So there are so many lost opportunities. And this is what I say, but let's get rid of the system and create a system that it's not about work-life balance. It's not about us versus them. It's not about us proving themselves, but it's about integration and accepting that parenthood, being a mother or being a father, is part of a natural life. Every man, every woman a company will recruit will eventually end up being a father or a mother. So how can we create a supportive system to support these employees so they are productive, they are efficient, they are working as a team, and they are still achieving their targets, not how long they are staying in the office to prove that they are worthy.
How is that a measure even? I mean, yeah. So how can we make workplaces mother inclusive? I love this word.
So give me 2 years, I'll let you know.
So the whole plan is, Mariana, for you to get this research, everything published. So by the time I'm a mother, everything is done.
Ready. Give me 2 years. Give me 2 years. I have a lot of data already, and I already did my sample. The thing is, as I said, to do a mother inclusive workplaces, it has to start from the first step. It starts from even selection. How are we selecting our candidates? How are we preparing them? And it's not about diversity, because part of my research is about diversity and inclusion and how diversity is misunderstood and how is it misused as a quota, as a game, as a number game. It's another topic for another day. But it's all about starting from the ground up and building companies from the ground up to support women to go up the ladder, to support women when they become pregnant, to support women when they become mothers. And by the way, this is such an important conversation, because as we are creating the systems, these companies to support mothers, we are supporting fathers as well.
Yeah, exactly.
We are in the same ecosystem. We are building a family together, and fathers are not excluded. They also want to go home and play with their children. They also want to take the weekends off. They also want to take their kids to their football game. So to have the complete framework I need 2 years to stand behind my framework. But until then, a lot of questions need to be asked.
Yeah.
A lot of systems need to be reviewed, and a lot of policies need to be reviewed, and a lot of women and mothers need to be interviewed.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we need to change the narrative, from us. Like, it starts with ourselves, your own conditioning. Like, for me to think that I'd probably be more hireable. No, it's true. Than someone who's got 3 kids, because they'll think as me as, oh, I've got nothing going on in my life.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to, give it more time.
Statistics favor you as a single woman. So single women are 30% more likely to come to an interview. Single women are 100% more likely to get recruited over a mother,
yeah.
and 70% more likely to get promoted. You remembered me, actually, you raised a very good point, what you said now, and you remembered me of something I think mothers forget. When mothers are going for an interview,
Mm-hmm.
and we go in, a lot of mothers, I interview them, they tell me that they try their best to hide their motherhood during the interview. So if the question of mother or children comes up, they try to brush it off, or they try to ignore it, or they try to just play it cool as if that's not part of our life, And a lot of the mothers who do get recruited, they leave the family out of the door because they don't want to weaponize, if you want, or give ammunition
exactly,
to the. So what I do tell these mothers is that when you are going for an interview, it is within your right to interview the company back. It is so important, because why would I want to work in an environment and a culture that is refusing to accept my full identity, that is refusing to support me, who I am, and I am a mother, I have a family. So this is such an important point, because we are going, we did the project they asked us, we did the case study, we researched everything, and we are playing it so hard to hide a big part of who we are, because once we are a mother, we are a mother, and that gives us a new push, a new commitment, and a new rush for productivity. So why do we need to hide the best part of ourselves? So mothers, please, when you go for an interview, take your time to interview the company, take your time to interview your hiring manager, your reporting manager, the HR, the policies. Take your time to go through the policies, because we are committed, we are loyal, we will give our 1,000 best. So we need to make sure that we are in an environment, in a structure, in a system that is with accordance with our values, with our family, with who we are. And we don't have to, every time we go to the office, oh, okay, mommy, you stay out, now let the boss me go in.
I was going to ask you what advice you could give to mothers in the WCGA, but
this will be my advice. Show up wholly, fully as you are, in every room, in every situation. And I keep on saying, I use the 3 words: loudly, proudly, unapologetically. Because every time a mother shows up who she is, fully and wholly, loudly, proudly, and unapologetically, she is actually not showing up on her own. She has 100 mothers behind her showing up. So she is enabling every single mother in her community to show up. And this is how we keep corporates and societies accountable. And we tell them, come on, stand up and pull your weight.
I want to clap. For sure. Mariana, this has been so inspirational and such a great conversation. Honestly, you better get on that research. I'm not waiting that long. So just my last question to you is around limiting beliefs, which I ask all my guests. And it's like, what is that one limiting belief that you had that you conquered, and how did you conquer it?
I think the whole conversation today was about that. I spoke about identity.
Yeah.
And this was so important. It was my wake-up call to realize there's a very, I like a quote from Robin Sharma that says, don't live the same life, the same year for 75 years and call it a life. Don't live the same year for 75 years and call it a life. So my limiting belief would be, don't think, for me, I thought that I will be the same person year over year over year. I mean, I was for 15 years and I thought that will be my role, that will be my identity for 15 years. But it's not, because I realized as I was writing my book and I was going through my identity discovery that our life happens in seasons. And in every season, we have a role to play. And every role is different. So I say in the first 15 years of my life, that's in that season of my life, I was making great things happen. And I say in the new season of my life, I am making great me happen. And with it, I am making great people happen. So we need to be open that our life happens in seasons. And in every season, when the change comes, when the new season comes, a new role will show to us. And we don't have to know what our new role would be. The new role will come to us. We just need to be there to accept it with open arms.
That's amazing. You know what, Mariana, that's so true. I can totally relate to that because I wasn't meant to be sitting here. I didn't plan this season of my life. And it just happened.
It just happened. When you open yourself to the possibility of change, when you open yourself to the possibility of what's next for me, what's tomorrow, how can I serve, how can I go, how can I give back to the community, the answer will come to you. That's how the universe works.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you,
and
Anum.
it's such a great conversation, honestly. And I really, really hope a lot of mothers can, listen to this. I'm sure they will resonate. And if you haven't read Mariana's book already, it's called That Suburbia Lady.
Another topic for another.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anum. It was amazing.
Thanks for tuning into Playing the Next Level. I hope this episode helped you feel inspired and ready to level up. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'd love to hear your thoughts and join the conversation on Instagram at WCGA and let us know your key takeaway. Remember, you're never alone in your journey. We're here cheering you on one step at a time. Until next time, keep playing to your next level.